The rest of the story. Beginning 1931 and for the next decade, the same question appeared on every final exam at each graduating class at Japan's Naval Academy. For 10 years, every graduating naval cadet in Japan was asked this question: how would you carry out a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor? When that question first appeared on the exam, there was no correct answer. Then, in February of 1932, this is 9 years and 10 months prior to the real attack on Pearl Harbor, the Japanese discovered what they believed was a foolproof plan. That strategy was, in fact, the one that was eventually employed. And yet for 9 years more, the question, how would you carry out a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, that question appeared on the Japanese Naval Academy final. With literally hundreds of various suggestions gleaned from the fertile minds of Japanese youth, not one could rival the strategy of 1932. How they really surprised us will surprise you. You see, in the fall of 1941, a Japanese ship arrived at Honolulu. And now it can be told 4 members of the crew who were posing as stewards were really officers in the Japanese Imperial Navy. 2 submarine experts, 2 surface ships and air operations experts. Had we been more suspicious at the time, we might have wondered why that particular ship had taken the route it did to the islands, a far north approach, passing near the icy Aleutians. Well, today we know that the 4 naval Japanese experts were testing a plan the Japanese had been counting on for almost 10 years. Much to their gratification, the Japanese naval officers sighted neither ships nor aircraft on this desolate swath of sea. A month later, a fleet of Japanese ships would take the same route to Hawaii, only then it would be for real. The Japanese officers, disguised as stewards, took plenty of shore leave. They saw the sights. They took snapshots. They spoke with the island natives. They even took tourist plane rides over Pearl Harbor and more snapshots. Remember, they were testing a plan, and so far the plan was on target. The consulate gave these Japanese stewards maps of Pearl Harbor and the military airfields. And just to make certain, they purchased souvenir sets of picture postcards containing aerial shots of Pearl Harbor and views of Battleship Rowan, the mooring area by Ford Island. Returning to Japan, the naval officers' spies were confident. The plan they'd had for a decade was the right plan. Indeed, it was the plan they used December 7, 1941, and were we surprised? How did they do it? Before 1950, 6 investigations would be launched in search of an answer. Here's the answer. The Japanese plan of attack was more than theory. It had been proved effective. In 1932, United States Admiral Harry Yarnell decided to demonstrate the vulnerability of Pearl Harbor. This is an American admiral who slipped 2 aircraft carriers in close from the northeast, who launched 152 aircraft, which theoretically could have obliterated all airplanes on the ground and sunk most of the ships at anchor. Japanese naval attachés in Honolulu read about the exercise, were so impressed that they filed voluminous dispatches to Tokyo, and their report ultimately manifested itself as the Japanese master plan. That's right. Almost a decade before the attack on Pearl Harbor, we showed them how to do it. And now you know the rest of